Alright, so today's video is going to be on The Matrix Reloaded, the second movie of the original Matrix trilogy. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The plot, 6-5. This movie felt like, honestly, a filler movie. There is some, notable plot points that end up, meaning something in The Matrix Revolutions. But this movie, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, they came out in the same year, I believe. I believe that year was 2003? Yeah, 2003 both movies came out. It was a two-parter, kind of like Infinity War and Endgame. I'm sure there's some other examples, but that's just the first one that comes to my mind. And Infinity War and Endgame didn't come out in the same year. They came out in, 1 year apart, but still very, very close to each other. 6-5. This is it should be called The Matrix Revolutions Part 1, because that's what it is. It's not its own movie. It's like a lead up, a build up to the next movie. There's some cool things that happen in this movie as far as the fight scenes go, but as far as the plot, my god, it's abysmal. You're just watching it and it's like, they're already doing vague, this genre defining new stuff, but it's not genre defining in good, it's genre defining in confusing and not nuanced. And when you're doing it like that, it's just I don't know. I remember there were several times I was watching this movie where I was like, please let this end. So the plot is a 6-5. The dialogue is a 7-2. The dialogue honestly could be a lot lower than this. So 7.5 is about my average point. So this means it's a little bit below average. I don't know. It's this 2003 action movie. Hoorah! I'm the baddest guy. I'm the coolest guy in the room. Look at me. And I don't like that. It's all about these one-liners. It's all about this badassery, and I don't like it. And also, the line delivery. I'm not that wild about, Keanu Reeves' acting, or I think it's Carrie-Anne Moss. Let me make sure that's her name. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Carrie-Anne Moss. Yeah, I'm not too wild about her line delivery either. Everybody in it is pretty much acting, I don't know, it's because the setting of The Matrix, I think that a lot of the actors tried to make their character feel like they had been through something and they're in this world-ending apocalypse type world, and the line delivery and the way they talk, it just feels weird to listen to. And it's like that in the first movie, but the iconic lines prop it up. In this movie, there's no iconic lines to prop it up. So yeah, that's where the 7.2 comes from. Acting, this one dropped down 0.5, and it is a 7. I gave it about average for the last movie. This movie, it was definitely below average. It wasn't horrible. It was just there's a couple of scenes where you're like, oof, I don't know about that. That's not very believable. But I don't know. I'm trying to get through this review quick because this movie doesn't deserve a lot of time. Cinematography, 8.2. It's an 8.2 because they do some cool fight scenes, and there's this one scene where they go on the highway or the freeway or whatever, and it's this long action scene, and it's really, really visually stunning as far as the action scene goes in The Matrix. And there's this really cool thing that happens, and I won't say exactly what happens, but there's some cool things that happen in that fight scene. And this one thing that Matrix is, they've always kind of had this groundbreaking visual effects type thing going on with them, and that kind of dies out over time in the series, but it didn't fully die out in this movie, and it was still definitely above average in this movie. Soundtrack, I gave this movie a 7 on the soundtrack because I remember there's this really annoying theme. One, there's not the classic iconic music as often as it as often as they played the iconic Matrix soundtrack in the first movie. I feel like that was barely in this movie, and they also played this really annoying electro club music during one of the action scenes. And I remember I was watching, I was like, my god, turn this music off. But yeah, I gave it a 7, which again I think might be too kind. But again, they played the iconic Matrix theme enough that I was like, ooh, the Matrix theme. All right, so let's go on to the bonus categories before we go to the total here. Immersion, not applicable. Comedy, same thing. World building 7. The drop down from the first movie to this movie is huge. In the first movie, they're establishing the franchise, they're establishing the universe, they're establishing everything that's going on. In this movie, they sit in that, and they feel complacent, and they feel like they don't really have to do too much, and the things they do try and add don't end up, like, helping with the world building. You're like, oh, that's less interesting than I thought. So, yeah. 7 for this movie, dropped from 9.1 in the first movie down to 7, so a 2.1 drop in world building. I think that's a big deal for me because that's a lot of what I expect from The Matrix was their world building characters. It was 8.6 in the first movie because of the iconicness of it. That kind of rubs off in this movie because it's the sheer volume that you're seeing them at. Because, you know, in the first movie, it's your first time seeing them, iconic character, you know, cool, like, new feel to them. In this movie, you're like, oh, these people again? Really? And I don't know, I know that Neo and Trinity are iconic characters at this point, but to me, I mean, they're some of my least favorite, you know, action characters in all of my favorite. I wouldn't, well, they're not in my favorite action movies, so I can't really say that, but in all of, like, action movies, I don't think they're very, like, iconic to me. I could probably name off about 20 before I name them, probably more, honestly. The action, there's some sick stuff that happens in this movie. I gave it an 8 on action. I'm not gonna speak too much on it, but there's some cool stuff that happens in the fight. It's still above average for me, the action in this movie. And it, with The Matrix, it kind of has to be that way because you know, that's the selling point. Is it's an action movie, and there's a little bit of complexity to the story and the plot and everything that's going on around them, but it's mainly about kung fu, jujitsu. It's mainly about, look at me, I am dolphin diving out of a window shooting at people. It's like crazy over the top action stuff. So yeah, final rating for The Matrix Reloaded is going to be a 6.8. Again, I think you could argue this is too kind. This is a part 1 to The Matrix Revolutions, and I just, is it Revolutions or Revelations or, oh look, it's Revolutions. Okay, yeah. So this is a part 1 to The Matrix Revolutions, and yeah, honestly, I feel like they could have skipped this entire movie. Yeah, you could skip this entire movie, and you might be a little lost at the start of the second one or at the start of the third one, but I think you could skip the movie and it would not be that big of a deal at all. Alright, so yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. There should be the Matrix video before this, and there should be the Matrix Revolutions and Resurrections after it. So if you want to watch that, that's going to be out. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.